something about Melissa McCarthy turning into a literal eldritch horror at the end of this movie just feels kind of right to me. I don't know. Am I the only one that feels like that? So The Little Mermaid is the newest Disney live-action remake based on The Little Mermaid from 1989. At least I think it was 89. I'll have to go back and check that out. I'll just say this, if you've seen the original Little Mermaid, then you pretty much already know what this movie is about. But is anything different in this new live-action adaptation? Right out the gate, guys, I'll go ahead and tell you, surprisingly, I didn't think this movie was that bad, especially with all the hate this movie's been getting recently. I know, it's a little hard to believe, because let's face it, some of these most recent remakes have been complete and total dog doo-doo balls. Pinocchio! The original Little Mermaid is one of the most beloved Disney movies of all time. It's so iconic, in fact, that the thought of remaking this movie was pretty sacrilegious for a lot of people. But judging from the amount of little girls that were dressed up as Ariel at my screening, must not be that sacrilegious. Seriously, I'm not lying. They were adorable. This movie kind of does the same thing that Aladdin did, as it feels like the exact same movie, but with some minor added changes. This movie feels like it's wearing the skin of the original, but it's just not the same. I'm definitely one of those people that believes you can never truly capture in live action what made animation so special. I went back and watched the original movie before going to see this one, and the original movie, it's very colorful. The characters have a lot of expression in their faces. And in this movie, it just feels kind of dull. It is the same story. In fact, there's dialogue and moments in this movie that are just repeats of what we've already seen. The biggest example of this is when you look at the Under the Sea sequence. In the original movie, it's colorful, there's a lot of movement, and in this movie, it's a little colorful and a little vibrant, but it's almost like a body that you put makeup on to try and make them look lifeful. It just doesn't work. That being said, there are some good things about this movie, and the first one being Halle Bailey. I thought she was actually really good as Ariel. The movie does a really good job of making you sympathize with her. You want to see her go to the surface and achieve the things that she wants to achieve. As much as I like her, I think this movie does a really good job of giving other characters things to do when they really didn't have that much to do in the original anyway. And if you're wondering, yes, I'm talking about Eric, because in the original, Eric he's essentially a prize for Ariel. He's pretty and he's looking for the girl of his dreams. That's more or less his character in the original movie. But here, we learn a lot more about him as a character, and you get to see what his day-to-day life is when he's not on the sea sailing. And I'll tell you right now, he doesn't really have a really good home life. He wants a better life for himself and not to just be stranded in this castle all day, every day. He even has one of the better musical numbers in the movie. Uncharted Waters, I think is what it's called. I don't know. I'll have to go check it out again later. Now, Melissa McCarthy, let me just say this about Melissa McCarthy. I have a hate-love relationship with Melissa McCarthy. There are some movies she's in where I just think she's absolutely annoying as hell and I can't stand her. And then there are movies like this where she's not as annoying and I think she's actually pretty charming. She does an okay job as Ursula, but it almost feels like Melissa McCarthy is cosplaying as Ursula rather than being Ursula. Ursula in the original had a goal. She had an end game. But in this movie, it just kind of feels like Melissa McCarthy / Ursula is just screwing with Ariel and everybody else just to screw with everybody else. I don't know. King Triton, man, holy shit. Yes, the internet is not lying when they say this man has literally screwed the entire world. You take one look at his little circle of daughters in this movie and you're like, holy shit, man. You get around. You're definitely going around tapping some ass. I don't know. I just thought it was pretty funny. But Triton does have something about him that does kind of annoy me a bit. And once again, I know I keep talking about the original, but that's the only thing I can compare this movie to is the original. The original, he's very stern and intimidating, and at times, he's very compassionate and he feels like a father. You see all that reflected in his actions and his mannerisms and when he explodes and loses his fucking mind. But in this movie, he has the same exact response for everything. I forbid it! You are never allowed to go to the surface again! Is that clear? I don't know. Which one do you prefer? Because I kind of prefer the second one. I've seen a lot of people ragging on the CGI, and yeah, it's kind of justified. When they're underwater, it just feels really weird. There are moments in this movie where you can tell they just did not have the time, or they didn't take the time to polish the CGI at all. And nowhere better does that show than with Scuttle and Sebastian. Oh my god.
What the fuck is that?
These two characters are 100% nightmare fuel. Like, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. You remember when I said there are some things that just don't translate well to live action at all? Yeah, Scuttle and Sebastian are probably on the hierarchy of that list of things. Scuttlebutt is also terrible. That was one of the things I heard about before going into this movie, is that there's a new song in this movie that Scuttle sings because she's voiced by, what's her name? Aquafina, there you go. That song is horrible, and no one should ever have to hear it ever again, because I feel like if I have to hear it again, my ears are gonna start bleeding. Just some of the movements of these characters when they're underwater is weird. Like, the moments where Ariel is dancing and singing, I get that it's supposed to look like the Under the Sea number, but it kind of looks like she's just grabbing Flounder by the mouth and going, as opposed to just dancing with him. Stuff like that is just a testament to some of these movies just don't need to be remade. They're better off as animation because, like I said, there are things that work better in animation versus live action. And I get it that these movies have mass appeal, and I get that they all have fans. Believe me, I've been a damn Disney fan since I've been in diapers. But stuff like Aladdin, stuff like this movie, and stuff like The Lion King should just be left alone. I'm just going to say that. They're top tier, holy grail kind of movies. They need to be left alone. The problem with this movie is it's just simply a pale imitation of what we already got before, and I just didn't feel the things that I guess the people who made this movie wanted me to feel. I'll probably check this out again when it comes out on Blu-ray, but I won't be in a rush to buy it. You know what I mean? It's a mixed bag, guys. And despite my problems with the movie, there are still things I enjoyed about it. In all honesty, guys, I probably think The Little Mermaid probably would have been a better time if I was high. Because I got high, 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 because I got high. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thank you guys so much for tuning into my review for The Little Mermaid 2023. If you saw my review for Across the Spider-Verse, then you know that I'm trying a new review format. It's going to take me a while to get used to, but essentially I'm trying to get away from the more scripted reviews just because I feel like that is slowing me down. So if at any point during this review it sounded like I was repeating myself or saying the same shit over and over again, I do apologize. Once again, it is going to take me time to get used to this new format. But you know, just hang in there with me and, you know, hopefully things will get better. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, I'm the Unbiased Movie Nerd saying peace, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace out, everybody.